So the first thing you need to do is draw, ink, and color your character in your favorite art editing software. Personally, I prefer to create the concept character first, and then use a selection tool to copy parts of the character into separate layers. Like so. You can use add or subtract selection in whatever software you're using, although it might not have that feature. Hit Control C for copy, Control Shift V to paste in place, and now we have a new tail layer. Then I can go ahead and work on, say, a hand, like so. This is obviously not the best way to do this. Oh, gotta go to the right layer to do the copying and pasting, and we'll call this one hand. And we'll be more specific. We'll say hand. It's his right hand. Looks like it's the left side, so that would be his right hand. So I got him set up a bit more. I'm just going to show you a few things that are good to keep in mind. You want to make sure that all of your layers are labeled so that they're easily identifiable. Ear left, because that's his left ear. If you want to touch up sections of the character, make sure you select the correct layer first. So this is the tail. I'd like to touch up the tail. Doing the ink, and a hotkey set up for doing anchors. Just fixing up the ink a little bit. Use a smudge tool. So one thing you want to do is you want the parts that are going to be layered underneath, you want to stretch them out a bit in kind of a circular manner, or kind of a circular shape. And that way, when they're rotating, it'll all still look fairly normal. And we're going to do that sort of thing with this leg. Now keep in mind, it doesn't have to be perfect, because in MeoMotion you can use distortions, and you can use the distortions to sort of fix up any kind of stretching or shearing as the joints are moving. So we'll take this left leg, and just for demonstration purposes, normally I wouldn't even separate this, but I'm going to show you how to prevent shearing with this character in MeoMotion. And I'm going to call this one foot left. I'm going to go reselect on, I'll hide that one, I'll hit delete. Okay, and then deselect. And I'll just make this sort of spherical. And then we'll do left foot. And I'm going to have left foot kind of go over top of it. I'm going to go left leg and make it partly transparent so I can kind of see where the other foot is. And then the foot's the part that's going to be in front of it. Oops, I don't want to erase. And then I'm going to blend this. And then let's see this one at 100% opacity. And does it look okay? Yeah, it looks fine. Then to test it, I would select the foot and just rotate it, whatever, and see how it looks. You know, if it's to rotate, how's that going to look? And like I said, you got this shearing that's happening here and here, but you can use the distortions, which works kind of like this in the MeoMotion animator, to sort of fix that. I also added some expressions. For example, this is the base expression, and if I wanted to switch, I can use the swap parts function in MeoMotion to swap these parts to save UV space. If you're only doing, say, something with a mouth, then what you could do is just have these small pieces, like as you can see here. It's just a piece that goes over top. You'll notice too with the eyes, so that I can have the eyes move around in MeoMotion. He can look left, right, down, up, or cross-eyed. That's why I'm keeping them separate, so that he can do goofy expressions. What I did was I have the eye whites underneath, and then these are actually cutouts. As you can see, it's transparent. Then I put the eye whites underneath of the cutouts, and the pupils in front, sort of in between the cutout and the whites. And that's how you can have them look around. Create this sort of blending piece. And like I said, that's so that when it rotates, you know, you got kind of a bit of a curved piece here. So it doesn't, you don't have this square piece popping out. Okay, I think he looks pretty good. So we don't want to export this layer, so I'm going to leave that as not visible. But we do want to export all these other layers. So we got to make sure that everything that we want in the sprite sheet is selected as visible. And then stuff that we don't want is selected as invisible. Before we do anything else, is make it game sized. So click image, image size. We'll make him 192 in height. You know, usually your tiles are 64. 3 tiles would be about 192. So he's just a little guy. Okay, so now we hit File and Scripts. And depending on what software you have, you can use your plugin. You can look up a plugin for your software, usually Google online, layers to files, and then the name of your software. All your layers, and we want visible layers only, does not need to be interlaced. So we click Run, and then we'll just have to wait a moment. Okay, export layers to files was successful. Yeah, we'll save this as Caddy1 scaled. Okay, so if you don't already have spritepackers, you can look it up, and you can download it for free off of Codeplex. It is made by Nick Gravelin, who definitely deserves his own donation button. And you just click download. So then you need to run spritepacker, and you click add images, and then you can click Control A to click all of them, or Control click to unselect or reselect, and then open. Give it a name. Make sure it's in the folder you want. I'll put it in this folder that I made before called Caddy. We're going to call it Caddy Sheet. And it'll create a PNG file and a TXT file. The TXT file will hold all the rectangular information about all the pieces. So now you click Build Sprite Sheet, and it's done. Then you go into your folder, your working folder, and now you should see your sprite sheet. You'll see over here there's a text file which contains all of the rectangle information which MeoMotion is going to need so that it knows where to find each piece on the sprite sheet. And it will look for it in the same folder, so you want to make sure these are in the same folder. Next, you run your version of MeoMotion. You can click Load Sprite Sheet, or you can go over here and hit New. So I'm just going to click here. and click Caddy Sprite Sheet. So then I'm going to click Caddy Sheet,